Thanks so much for joining us on A Fine Podcast with your hosts, Amanda and
Joseph, yeah, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. We are here to continue our dancing journey with our stars.
yes, we are reviewing week 3 of Dancing with the Stars season 34 today, TikTok night.
Yeah, and what a series of events that unfolded.
To welcome TikTok night in, they had the cast members perform different, like what would be on TikTok reels. So we see Derek and he's doing like, here's what I'm wearing today. And then we scroll through and we see Robert and he's doing a get ready with me. And then Bruno's doing a review of Derek's fashion review. And then Dylan is doing different noises and sounds like an ASMR TikTok and he throws confetti.
Yeah, they kind of highlighted, I think all the big trends that have kind of gone through TikTok throughout the time it's been around. So
We also had Charlie D'Amelio return and she did a few dances. And by listening to Joey's after the Dancing with the Stars podcast, he talked to her and she talked about how she never danced a samba before in her season. And she did one tonight and learned it very quickly in a couple days with Mark. So that was quite impressive.
yeah, which I was saying, I guess I wasn't watching this one like intimately as I was, but so yeah, that's interesting though that this was her first time doing it.
I think she's very adaptable and she learns very quickly. And then she also credits Mark to being an amazing teacher as well. So
Yeah. I mean, I do think that is some of it as well, for sure.
And then Charlie has a lot of TikTok followers. So this was perfect that she came back on this night.
Yeah, because I mean, I think she's one of the
Top followed.
right in all of TikTok.
So first we had Jen and Jan, and they did a cha-cha to She's a Bad Mama Jamma.
Yeah, this was, well, I mean, it was one of the lowest scoring of the night, but it was definitely, kind of watching it, it felt like it lacked the explosion of cha-cha of what it should have.
I think they got like too carried away with the TikTok thing. Like it was a good theme, right? So this is what kind of blew her up on TikTok, right? She went viral with this dance that she did, Mama Jamma dance in the hospital. She was wearing her hospital gown and she was in her hospital room barefoot and she did this dance and went viral. And Jan goes, "You were barefoot in the hospital?"
Yeah. Yeah, which I think the sentimental behind the song and everything, and then like the starting of it having the hospital gown with the pregnant,
And then it gets ripped away.
right, and then to the testament that she's doing this so shortly after, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I mean the whole showmanship and all of that was
That
fine.
was good.
I think it's just the technicals were just not sharp for some of the stuff. So especially as we kind of see throughout the night, right, that it everyone is kind of really elevating their levels. So
Yeah, it's quite impressive, this whole cast. There's a lot of competition now. So
yeah, you're kind of seeing the leaderboards kind of whipsaw all around with who's at the top and who's at the bottom. So yeah, you really got to come out. But
yes, you're right. You're right. So Bruno says, "Well, that was an easy delivery, wasn't it? The cha-cha-cha has to be better placed in the foot. It needs to be cleaner in the finish, and you need to use syncopations in the music." Great performance, though, one I won't forget. Which that kind of goes back to what you were saying about technicality, right?
well, that was it, and yeah, that reminded me too. I remember now watching hers, it almost felt more like she was doing a salsa than a cha-cha, because there wasn't the little stutter step that you have in the cha-cha. I didn't see a lot of that, and so kind of looking through the choreo, it felt almost more like I was watching a salsa just from the movements, which that's what Bruno pointed out. But yeah, that was something that I remembered. But yeah, and I think that was some of it too, probably, and why she had the lower score because that's like the total foundation of the dance. So
You have to
you
nail that foundation to stand out now.
yeah, or that's such a big
Aspect of it.
thing, and yeah, the score, right? Because that's the whole that stutter step is that makes the dance. So
Right. So Carrie Ann says she has so much joy when she dances, but there's a little hyperextension going on. And then Derek says, great performance, but in cha cha, there needs to be straight legs and quicker turns are needed.
yeah, so they had quite a bit, quite a few remarks regarding the movement. So.
Good feedback. And hopefully she'll internalize that as she goes into her next dance. And the scores, we got a 7 from Carrie Ann and then 2 6s.
We've seen a lot of these kind of switch, right? They did ballroom last week, and now they're going back to like a Latin ballroom, or they're kind of switching from the one into the other, and I think that's a good challenge, and
Can
because
you
I think
do
there's
different dances?
that, and then a lot of the ballroom, right, is general more the movements are more fluid, right? You're like foxtrots, waltzes, and then you go skip to something like this cha-cha, which has a little more explosive and dynamic and like more of a hard style dance. It's a good challenge for them to kind of go back and forth between the two of them. So,
Right.
especially as we see with our next dancer.
That's right. So wait, with the scores, 766, I think we were surprised that she got a 7 here.
Yeah, I mean it right, because I guess the 8 was like the super high end. Last week, well, pretty much Carrie Ann, I think Bruno gave 1 8, but that was kind of the edge case number. 7 was like pretty much right, really good. 6 was average, and then 5 was below average. And so now we were kind of seeing, 6 is like below average, 7's kind of, good, above average, and then 8 was like, phenomenal. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It did feel a little lackluster, I think, really, compared to her other dances. She's definitely was stronger last week, I think. So, yeah, I mean the 1-7 was all right, but
Yeah, and we'll
I
talk
probably
about
was.
how that compares to our next couple score as well. So Lauren and Brandon, they performed a cha-cha to Work From Home by Fifth Harmony. Lauren's song.
Yeah, she sang this, and it was also nice to have some of the cast members of, or
Fifth
I don't know,
Harmony.
the not
Band
cast
members.
but yeah, band members of the song. So
And then they had the creator of the Work From Home dance too. They featured a lot of TikTok dance
yeah,
creators in the
right.
audience, which was nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, this one was kind of similar to Jen and Jan's. It was right. The showmanship was there. It was very, fun to watch, but the technicality was a little lacking in some regards. But just kind of the same, where just more explosive movements with the cha cha. She was still right, and she was kind of this example of, the foxtrot last week, just moving like water, and then still kind of had some of that fluid movement and in the cha cha, which I think with the some of the arm extensions and leg extensions, it's just very crisp, sharp, dynamic, hard moves. So it's kind of that shifting of hard to soft, but
Yeah, so we'll hear more about what the judges thought of that. And you're right, it was a lot of focus on the theatrics, like the yellow construction outfit that Brandon was wearing and her yellow outfit and getting on the construction platform at the beginning. And I don't know, I think like doing her song was just, it was so distracting that it was her song that it was less focused into the movements of the actual dance that they were trying to do.
yeah. And again, I mean, I think she did a good job, but it is, as you saw throughout the night, everyone is really kind of stepping up their game. So, it was a good show, but everyone is kind of really improving. So there's a lot of competition. So
Right.
just in comparison with the others, it just wasn't her best, right? I mean, seeing the Foxtrot last week, that was just gorgeous, and then this, you know, wasn't as great, but
So Carrie Ann says she likes the way she moves, but she wants to see a little pop in her step for more dynamics, more life coming out of her is needed. And Derek says, you better work. There's an ease to the way that she moves. For the ballroom, that's wonderful. For Latin, there needs to be more fire, more oomph. And then he says, well, you can do that. You're going to be here for a long time.
yeah, that was. And Derek was probably
Felt terrible.
stunned.
After.
Yeah, after. That was a bad foreshadowing, but
And then Bruno says, you have wonderful lyrical quality. For Latin, though, you have to hit the beat, and that is not something that you're doing right now.
yeah. So once again, these were kind of similar comments, to Jin and Jan's. But the only difference here was the score, right? That
Yeah.
really didn't make sense because
3 6s.
yeah, where Carrie Ann didn't give the 7 and only gave a 6, which felt just weird because these felt identical.
When we were seeing this, the moment we thought Lauren deserved a 7.
I mean, if you gave Jen a 7, then Lauren should have gotten a 7.
Yeah, to be
But
fair.
yeah, their performances seemed identical, so it felt weird that she got the short end. Even this time, right? Because the other season, she should have got, or last episode, she should have got on the 8. She
Yeah,
didn't
we
get
thought she was gypped the last
and,
episode,
yeah,
too.
she kind of got gypped. I think this season or this episode as well. So it was, that was definitely a shame to see. But so I don't know. That was
That
a little
one
weird.
point could have made the difference.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so we thought it was a little unfair. I mean, she was good. It was just those moves needed to be more defined. with
Yeah.
what she was doing.
And I mean, it's hard to say, right? I mean, everyone's working hard, but it is, at the end of the day, someone's got to get.
Yeah, and we'll go over that elimination here at the end of the episode.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, so crazy. So next we had a dance by Danielle and Pasha, a foxtrot to Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter. And this was nice to see Danielle talk about her connection to Sabrina. They were on Girl Meets World together some time ago, and she says she considers her like a daughter because she's known her for over a decade now. And then we get to see a video that Sabrina sent Danielle saying how proud she is of her and how excited she is that she's using her song this week. So that was a nice little connection.
Yeah, yeah. And then we saw a good show from here. Danielle really, stepped it up. You kind of, I mean, I had forgotten about the injury watching the dance. I mean, you definitely did not see this week the, kind of fighting through the pain to do the dance.
I think she even said my hamstring feels so much better, like 90% better this week. And it probably helped that this dance was more like flowy and
Yeah, and there wasn't nearly a lot of kicks, or high kicks, I should say, to try to, really put some tension on the hamstring. But
yeah, she looked totally different this week. Way more comfortable.
yeah, just a lot more natural in the dance, and then it looked a lot better and felt a lot better.
And she really paid attention to her shoulders this time because she received that comment twice in a row. Pay attention to your shoulders, your shoulders.
Yeah, Bruno was really hounding her on that, so she definitely wanted,
She did it.
she fixed them.
Yeah, so this looked beautiful, very elegant dance. And then also I liked their blue outfits. They wore blue in honor of Sabrina. Her dress kind of looked like a Cinderella dress, which was nice. And it was just like very fairy tale-esque look.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, okay, so really quick, in the audience, I was shocked to see some of these people in the audience. You're like, there's George Lopez. And I haven't seen George Lopez since like the George Lopez show. And I was like, are you sure it's George Lopez?
Yeah, I was like amazed because I was like, I mean,
I really didn't think he looked like him for a second.
who else would it be? I mean, yeah, he looks very, he's got the grown out hair now and much different than his 90s look. But yeah,
But yeah, George came to see her. And on her podcast, I think she talked about how her and George worked together in the past. So that's nice. And then I don't know her name, but the woman from the Wrong Missy movie, which was really funny.
Yeah, no,
She was there.
friends with her, so yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
So Derek says she is so pleasant and refreshing. he says there was control in the foxtrot fundamentals, but she needs to use her arms from her rib cage. Everything should come from the center. And then Bruno says it was lovely, elegant, stylish, had flair. The TikTok element was incorporated beautifully and well done. And then Carrie Ann says it was really beautiful. She was very uplifting. She sees growth, but work on the body contact between her and Pasha.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was kind of a fair assessment of things. And
Good feedback, too, for
Yeah.
Danielle to work on. And then Danielle gets emotional, too, when Julianne's interviewing and says she hopes she made Sabrina proud tonight. And then she got 3 sevens.
yeah, and this felt appropriate for the performance. So yeah, I would agree with it.
Yeah, it's an improvement from last week. She got good feedback, and I think she'll use that from here and keep going. And hopefully she gets out of the middle of the pack and heads toward the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think she's well, especially now that, I think with the leg past that now, I think she'll continue to be able to move upward. I thought, this might hinder her a little bit longer, but it seems like she's already bouncing that back from it. So it's great to see.
Yeah, really good to see. So next we had Jordan and Ezra, and they performed a tango to Anxiety. And Jordan relates to this song because she relates to having anxiety herself. So she kind of challenged that in this dance. And I thought this dance was amazing. She was very clean. She had great moves, and she was really connected to the song.
Yeah, she's really been, these are one of the prime examples of one who's been starting to come up from the bottom. I mean, she has really just been, every week has just been better and better and better, and big strides from week to week as well. So, I mean, she did fantastic with this. This was a great one to watch.
Yeah, every week better and better and better, like you said. It was amazing to watch. And Bruno says that her improvement has been astonishing. She's clean, she's clear, powerful, focused, best dance yet. Carrie Ann says she was smooth and fierce, amazing. And Derek said he was really impressed with her frame despite the height differences between her and Ezra. And she also turned anxiety into artistry.
Yeah, it was a little clever.
Yeah, I like that. Wonder if he prepared that beforehand.
Yeah.
So she scored 3 8s, and I think this was well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely one of the strongest of the night, and I mean, the scores showed that, and yeah, I mean, I agreed with them, and yeah, I mean, she's really become a powerhouse now.
Yeah, her and Ezra, a great team together.
Yeah.
So can't wait to see what's next. Okay, so we have Dylan and Daniela, and they performed a foxtrot to Yukon by Justin Bieber. And we learned that Dylan is friends with Justin, and he says that he makes people feel comfortable being vulnerable. And this week, Dylan was all about working on himself and being a leading man in the dance. So he was a little nervous about that.
Yeah, because they had mentioned, I think Derek mentioned in like first season that, Danielle's a strong dancer, so you really got to, reel in the reins to take the lead and whatnot. So yeah,
First episode.
yeah,
I thought it was a really good dance. I noted a little thing at the end. It looked like they hit faces at the very end. I didn't notice this until I watched it back today.
Oh yeah, no, I missed that.
I think there was a quick hitting faces moment. It's weird to see like these little goof ups at the end of dances.
that
happened.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this thing was very well done. I mean, he definitely, took the lead and yeah, his movement, his strides with the foxtrot was very well done. And I mean, I think the judges mentioned, one of the best they've seen as far as the gliding and keeping that, strong frame while you're kind of slightly bent, gliding across the floor. He did a very well job of that. And then, yeah, because I mean, that's one of the strong core things of foxtrot. And yeah, I mean, he did a very, very good job of things.
And he's also a person that has been improving a lot week over week.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see, I think, a different different side of him now. He had kind of more of the fun, kind of more almost like just
Milkshake.
joking around kind of thing with it. Yeah, where now you're seeing more seriousness, and it seems like he's really being more, more serious with things and just putting on in the work, and yeah, it's paying off.
Yeah, I'm impressed with what he's been able to do so far. So Carrie Ann says he's in the beginner group, but he learned the technique, which is great, and it was elegant. Derek says that his foxtrot was as smooth as silk, and he is impressed with his control and stride. It was exceptional, but he needs to tuck his booty under.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't observing for that, but yeah, I mean, that is,
I think
can be one of the things that slides. And
foxtrot.
yeah.
I think I like these notes because I think getting little notes, it's better than getting, oh yeah, you were fantastic, and then you have nothing to focus on or work on going forward.
Oh, well, sure. Well, absolutely. I mean, if you're not getting a 10, then I need something, right? Give me something to help me, to point me to a 10, right?
Right.
Because, yeah, if you just said that and gave me an 8, then what can I do differently to to up that?
So Bruno says that was smoldering. He did long, smooth, gliding controlled movements and heel leads. And then he scored a 7 and 2 8s. Derek and Bruno gave him 8s.
Yeah, and this felt appropriate for what he got. I agree with that.
Next, we have Elaine and Alan, and they performed a tango to Gnarly by Cat's Eye. So Elaine definitely brought her Meredith Blake character to TikTok week.
Yeah, and this was a fun. So some of this, we kind of talked about too. Watching it was like some of the songs felt a little, just I don't know, right? Just the mood of like what the dance is about. Sometimes some of the songs just right. They go with the song stepwise, but it just doesn't feel right. Where this felt like one of those ones that just felt good that blended in with the tango. Like I think it just gave the essence of like what a tango is, and just helps it, I think, overall make it look better and feel better. I don't know, like you just want something a little more oomph and powerful with a tango.
That was definitely this song.
Yeah, and I think it did a good job, and I think it just helps elevate and just makes everything feel even that much better. So yeah, no, I thought this was a great one. I think she did great, and yeah, the steps were very strong, and
she's good. She's someone to keep a watch for because she's improving too.
I think she's one of the best, out of the, cast, one of the best ones that are in the higher end of the age spectrum that we've seen.
She has great flexibility, really, great movements. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's been great.
And I think she even mentions this. She's like, I'm up here doing this and I'm 54 years old.
Right. So. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean,
it's impressive.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know how old like Andy is, but I don't think they're that far different, but I think she's very, very strong.
So Derek says she is such a performer, and then she needs a wider frame and she needs to keep her shoulders consistent. And Bruno says she had good tango attitude. She was strong and sharp, but she needs to use her core to free up her top half to express. And then Carrie Ann, this is where she did the weird hee ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Thing. And Alfonso's like, what are you saying?
She like turned into a gremlin.
And then she said this was incredible, powerful, strong, but sometimes she's being too independent. She needs to trust her partner and work together. Which she is very strong at being like an independent performer.
Yeah, and I think this is why, tango's a great one that just fits her together and kind of her personality, because yeah, it's this very strong, and that can be, I think, especially for her, the challenge is just a little more cohesion, I think, with your partner, because
yeah,
it's tough and strong, but you've got to do it together. It can't be solely on one side. But I mean, still, I think it was very well done. But yeah, I mean, and she's got some points for next week to work. So
yeah, that's good. And I mean, I think her and Alan, they have a good partnership together, and they'll take that criticism going forward and make it even stronger next week. And they scored 3 sevens,
Yeah, yeah,
which that felt good too.
right. Yeah, no, I think it was.
I mean, she's always kind of in the middle of the pack, so it'd be nice to see her just keep edging towards the top.
Yeah, I mean, I would say she's kind of getting to like that upper middle.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
where she was kind of more middle bottom starting off. So I think she's kind of been moving in a good
like
direction.
a slow movement.
Yeah.
Up. Yeah.
I mean, she's getting better with every dance. There hasn't been so far, at least, right? Where last week's was better than this week. So
Yeah.
I think she's in a good path.
Good spot.
Where she's going. Yeah.
So next we have Whitney and Mark, and they performed a samba to Shake Ya
Yeah.
by Mystical. So this was important because she had a viral TikTok to this song where she was in her pajamas, dancing around, and it exploded. So her and Mark, I think, had a really fun time putting this dance together.
Yeah. No, this was great. This was, I mean, especially for the samba.
A hard dance.
It was a very well done. I mean, this really caught me by surprise, especially because we're kind of talking about this a little bit. Was you can sometimes play your outfit on what type of dance you're doing, and you can kind of use it to maybe hide some imperfections or some areas that you're weak in. And so seeing the tassels on the legs, see that with a lot of the spins
on her outfit.
right
tonight.
yeah, you almost have an initial thing of, oh well, maybe this might be used to cover up, but no, I mean she did great. I mean everything just flowed, and it just never felt, there was no periods of where it like you got taken aback or just felt weird. I mean the whole thing just from start to finish just flowed, and the walks and whisks were all great. So yeah,
Fun dance. They had a great time doing it. You could tell how much fun they were having, and they just nailed the whole aspect of their dance. So
yeah, I mean it was great. It was very well done for that.
So Bruno says that she has that samba elusive bounce, which is very impressive. Carrie Ann says that she never wobbled once. She's on fire, and she ate that dance up. She was in control. It's a hard dance. It was also a slower samba, which can be harder.
Yeah, especially with the rotation and keeping the rotation in time, but at a slower pace is challenging. And yeah, she made it look effortless.
So Derek says it was mesmerizing. Her performance quality is off the charts. Great samba flair, and she got 3 8s.
Yeah, which that was, I mean, rightly so. She deserved that.
That was a great performance, for sure.
Absolutely.
So next we have Scott and Riley, and they performed a jazz to Like Jenny, which I've never heard this song before.
Yeah, me either. This one is, it's interesting. I wonder why they throw jazz into the mix, because it's just, if I remember, I don't think it traditionally fits in the ballroom, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, at least it's just so different from all the other dances. It's like, and I just don't know much about it because I haven't danced jazz before. But other than
probably makes it hard
the box step
to judge. Yeah.
and jazz hands. but so it's hard to comment as much with it, but because it just feels so, there's not a closed frame, there's not even really much of like an open frame. It's more of like, I don't know, the whole dance felt just more of like an improvised, like freestyle hip hop almost.
Yeah.
And so it was so different than what you see with the others. So I mean it was great, right? I mean the choreography, they were very both in sync with their movements, and so it did look very sharp.
But we go into a little bit about Scott's backstory of TikTok, and he said his biggest TikTok that he posted was his surprise dance that he did at his wedding. He surprised his husband and came up with a choreographed dance, and it was with Costin Mayer from TikTok, which was fun because they have a lot of TikToks together. But that one kind of blew up on TikTok. That was his viral moment that special dance, and he was great at that dance. It's probably why it blew up. So I think Riley watched this, and then she totally developed this dance with that in mind and really played to Scott's biggest strengths in dance.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of elements from that as well. So I think that's also why I was kind of able to feel more natural, I guess, to him because he'd already kind of done these movements. But yeah, nonetheless, it was a great dance. So.
Great dance. And then they worked hard to follow Carrie Ann's advice about Scott taking up more space. So they incorporated that, and they kept thinking about that throughout practicing of this routine.
Yeah, you showed when they were, little highlights of when they're practicing. You kept hearing Riley say, take more space.
More
take
space, more space. And then he would chant it too. And so I thought that was really great that they paid attention to their biggest point of feedback that they got there.
Yeah.
And Carrie Ann was very impressed with this. He said, "You own that floor." She said that he took up space. He's the king of TikTok night now. He was in his element. He took her note, and it went so well. So this definitely paid off for Scott, for sure. And then Derek says, "Okay, I have one word," playing off of last week.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Red." For red hot, that is. And he says he shined in his own element. And then Bruno says he was on fire tonight in his comfort zone. The choreo was delicious. Riley used his personality to create something special that suited him. So kudos to Riley for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So the scores. He got an 8 from Carrie Ann, and then he got 2 7s.
Yeah, I think that was appropriate.
This went really well. It was a very enjoyable dance to see. I thought he put so much into it. I was impressed. I'm impressed with his growth now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, because I think this one is so different. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back next week, and unless they do modern. But I know that jazz and modern are the two that kind of get, that are different and kind of a different.
What's that improv one?
Spectrum. What improv?
There's like an artsy dance.
The modern. That's modern.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not contemporary or something like that.
Well, yeah, those mean the same thing.
Okay.
They could be interchanged, but traditionally it's called modern because Martha something.
Stewart.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not right. Martha's, I don't forget her last name now, but she's the one who made it. And
Why did I think of Paula Deen when I said?
I don't know. Oh no, because
I got dry eyes, yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back to,
a more traditional
ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. More closed frame and right, just so. But yeah, at least he's riding on a high right now, and
I'm on a high right now.
And yeah, hopefully he can take that momentum into next week.
Yes, I hope so. So next we have Hilaria and we have Gleb, and they performed a samba to Shake It to the Max.
Yeah, this was another great samba. Their walks and man, it's escaping me now. The turns,
the rolls.
Yeah, the samba rolls. Thank you. Those looked
Very
great.
impressive.
Yeah, very, very just in unison and just so fluid. And yeah, this was another great. I was very stunned by all the sambas this go around.
Yeah, and all the really great samba work going on. So her viral moment on TikTok is a conversation that she had with her husband when she said to him, "When I am talking, you are not talking." She said that to Alec, and then it went viral. And she's like, "Yeah, this is what went viral."
Yeah, that's
which was funny.
Yeah, kind of I don't know if you'd really want that to go viral
I know.
or not. But
And then Gleb pokes fun at it, that was funny.
yeah.
But we learned that she broke her hip, which does make learning samba a little bit more difficult because she's like tight on the side that her hip broke, and she has to do those big rolls. So,
and that was a big point too. Watching, you didn't see any discomfort or kind of hindrance when she was doing her rolls and movements. You didn't see any, feel tight or anything. She made it look effortless as well.
she did. Yeah. I'm constantly impressed every week with her dedication to the technique and her ability to pull all of this off, even though it's been so long since she's danced before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think she's been great. And I mean, yeah, I guess there's, maybe some controversy with the background of it. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, she is a great dancer, whether it's, has some prior experience or not. But
She is great in this competition, and I think her and Gleb, they make a good partnership together.
yeah, yeah, no, I think they've been great. So
So Derek says, technically, she's in a league of her own. She's classic, vibrant, the most beautiful samba rolls that we have seen on this show.
yeah, I mean, they were
It was great.
hard to beat.
Bruno says, a pure classic samba. It hit with clinical precision. Just wanted a little bit more bounce. And he says, I'm telling you this like a top grade dancer. So he's just giving her more feedback. It's almost like she's on a different level.
Well, you're seeing that with a because I think he mentioned this with two people, or Derek did, but they're starting to elevate their judging game because they are doing so well that they need to start kind of almost getting into the finer details, because those are really the only things that are distinguishing some of the dancers apart, and just two things to work on going forward.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we're seeing. I mean, everyone for the most part is pretty much improving a lot.
A
So.
lot. So Carrie Ann says that Len would have loved this samba. And she's a sensational dancer, so refined. And then she says, but her musicality was off, which I didn't really notice this.
If I remember right, I think this was. I thought only at the very end they were slightly off. Because the song ended and they did the dip, so they were slightly off towards the end. But I didn't feel that.
There wasn't like a huge miss of this.
Yeah,
right?
towards the definitely the beginning or middle, I didn't see that. But yeah, I did see a little bit of that towards the end.
But good feedback then. So that's something
Yeah,
for her to look out for. So she scored a 7, an 8 by Derek, and then another 7.
yeah, and I mean, I thought maybe one more 8, but yeah, I mean, I think the scores were fine.
Yeah, and she has things to work on and look forward to next week. So next we have Andy and Emma, and they performed a foxtrot to Northern Attitude. And they talk about Hosier's yell. And Andy defines this as a moment of ecstasy. And Emma asks him, what's your Hosier yell moment? And he says, well, being voted through to this point in the show, he said he's never felt this loved, which was really nice.
Yeah, I think it must be nice for him to kind of have the center spotlight after being the sidekick for so many years. So I think he's enjoying that, and
All the support he's getting.
Yeah, yeah.
He said it's like a Valentine for him.
Yeah, and I mean, even he's still been coming out strong, and he's better than he was before, and
Definitely better. And he's really trying hard to be here and to remain here.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you are seeing, improvements, and yeah, he's got some things to work on, but I mean, he's still, at the end of the day, he's better than he was last week, which, is the best you can do.
Yeah. So did you enjoy his moment, his little TikTok moment when he grabbed the camera? So it's like the audience is in his hand and he spins around with the camera.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make. I didn't know what to think of this. I mean, it was fun.
Did you feel like you were being held by Andy?
I guess that's kind of what the intention of it was.
It was a cute moment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. It was unique. I mean, it felt like it fit his personality. So
Definitely.
yeah, I think that was the important thing.
So they had a fun dance. It's always so heartwarming to see them dance together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time to watch them. Yeah, they aren't the most technical, but I mean, they're still great to just to watch them and have them how to go at it.
And he is moving a little bit more than some other people his age on past seasons. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely one of the. Yeah, I mean, he's been one of the better, ones in the on the older side of things, but
Bruno says love is in the air. He has natural charm. There was much more content in the routine, which was great, and he appreciated that. So more dance content for him this week, which is true. We got to see more of him moving.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he did. He had good space. I mean, they definitely went around the floor quite a bit. So
Yeah. And he said, well, now don't get carried away with my feedback. It still needs some work or a lot of work. And then Andy goes, I know.
yeah,
And then he says, this little steps in the right direction. I
yeah,
just thought it was funny how Andy was like, oh, I know it needs a lot of work.
yeah. I feel like he's expecting. I think at this point where like every week he
He could get
expects it to be
eliminated.
him. Yeah. So like every time it's not, he's been so stunned. But
I saw a little interview of him this week, and he said, I was expecting to get eliminated.
yeah, see, I think he feels because I mean, right? Because I mean, he has always been at the bottom, but so I think just naturally, right? You kind of think my time's it's got to be
Coming
this
up.
this week, right? So, but no, I mean, he's got another week, and it'll be fun to see what they do next
Yeah, I
week.
am excited. I am so happy he is still in the competition, especially when we start to talk about what the theme is for next week, especially then. So, Carrie Ann says, people love you. He is a beginner level, but he's giving his heart. And that's what the show has started out from. And there are ways to go, but she loves watching him. And Derek said, when the beat dropped, you could just feel the energy, the smile he gave. It's such a beautiful moment. He's the heart of the show. And then we go to Emma and she's tearing up, crying. She's so happy to be there with him. And I kind of thought she was like really tearing up because she thought, oh, our final performance maybe together.
Yeah, probably.
But he scored 3 sixes. An improvement.
Yeah, I mean, he's still he's getting higher scores than what he got the previous week. So I think that's you're moving forward. So that's great.
It's good. All right, next we have Robert and Whitney, and they performed a salsa to $1 Million Baby by Tommy Richmond.
Yeah, this one was it was good, but it did have some parts that kind of fell short, I thought. I mean, compared to
His previous performances.
yeah, like those I think felt pretty solid throughout the whole thing. Where this, especially, I think Derek makes a comment on it, but I thought as well watching the dance was, after he took his shirt off and they went and he went into like he went into the solo movement, I think, or Whitney followed him shortly after to do like a synchronized step, but his movement was very robotic. Like it just felt he just didn't have the fluidity that you needed with the salsa. Because I think from last week he had that hard dance, and then this going from that hard to soft, he still had some of that hard thoughts, I think, with the movement. So that felt a little weird, but other than that, I mean, for the most part, I mean, it was still very well done. A lot of the other parts felt great and looked well, but yeah, that was just the one part that kind of stood out to me. Is like it just like you were in the moment, you're watching it, and then like that movement was like, whoa, wait a second, that felt kind of weird. Like what just happened?
And you have to think like, I mean, he's such a great performer that it's hard to not focus on, the dance that they were trying to do this week, right? He had salsa. So it's like, is that on the top of your mind? Or are you just like, a lot of people are distracted by what a great performer he is?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a lot of showmanship, and his energy level's so high, so he's very
Engaging with the audience. And
right, and the facial expressions are, great, and it helps you kind of get lost in that, so you're not focused so much on like the technicals and things. So that definitely, yeah, is a
which I think at points I got distracted in that until I heard Derek's comments like, oh, yeah, it was kind of, stiff with the salsa movements. And that should be like way more flowy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it almost felt like at one point he was like doing the
doing
robot
the robot,
move,
right? Like he
move.
did the last week.
Yeah, so that was like, it was funny. But no, I mean, still all in all, though, I mean, it was, you know,
High energy,
yeah, yeah, still well done.
crisp movements, even though robotic at times.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, we see that Robert's TikTok page has mainly been animals, and now it's some dance TikToks. And then he introduces Whitney to a crocodile. And then he talks about how skin from the crocodile belongs on the crocodile, and the fashion industry likes to take it away. And I thought this was a great incorporation, a good message that you don't need to use crocodile skin in fashion. I was cheering for that. I was like, Yahoo! Great message.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So-
he shows Whitney. She gets to get up and close with a crocodile. So,
She says she's less scared now of crocodiles, but she will not be petting one anytime soon.
or swimming with them. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
So he says that's smart. Yep. And yeah, what did you think about the shirt ripping off moment? I think the audience went crazy for that. And then maybe it really was like the big distraction from the salsa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's. I mean,
He's like trying to show a different side of himself. He's like, well, this is a side of me.
well, yeah, I guess they're trying to give him more of like the, they kind of kept making jokes around like Chris Hemsworth kind of feel, or just more of a
grown up kind
action
of feel.
hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he's been, I think, more portrayed as kind of this funny, wacky guy. I guess because they relate him right to so much to Steve, right? And Steve really was kind of this really wacky, outgoing guy. Not so much of more of like Mr. Suave and things like that. So he's kind of getting pointed, which that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It was shocking.
yeah, no, I mean, definitely you didn't expect to see that, but I mean, it was all right. Yeah, but I mean,
I thought he was going to grab his shirt and put it back on. I thought it was like a little awkward that he kept it off for like all the judges' comments and then going into the skybox.
oh, you would never be. No. I mean, you've seen, well,
I know, but it's still so weird. It's like, and at points when he was talking, Whitney was covering his stomach.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they do it, and I guess the background people, pick it up, and
Yeah.
but
There was a TikTok where Whitney said, thank you to all the women who are contacting me trying to get a date with Robert, but he is not available for a date because he needs to be focused on dance right now. So let him focus on this.
oh, that's funny. I had no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
So Carrie Ann says he's all grown up and she feels like a grandmother. And she says, put your shirt back on. And then she's so distracted by this. And Alfonso says, yes, that's what happens when someone takes off their shirt in here.
Yeah.
And then Alfonso was really funny. He also said, my wife tells me I look like this when I take my shirt off. And I know she's a liar.
Yeah.
So Carrie Ann says he's a great performer. But, and then she goes, no, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. I think she was going to comment about the salsa piece, but
Yeah, I don't know. That felt weird. I was like, I don't know.
was she like afraid to say the critiques or was she running out of time? I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to know what she would have said. but-
Me too. So Derek says this was strong. He's assertive. He's a great partner and performer. However, the salsa technique, musicality was spot on, but it was rigid and stiff for salsa. Salsa is more fluid. And then he got booed and he's like, I'm a judge. It's
Yeah, I don't know. The booing thing is just
like, come on, people. Don't you want them to get good like criticism and feedback?
yeah, I mean where they say one little thing that's critiquing or something, and then they all boo him is
Boo.
just, I don't know. That's not great because I mean, yeah, he's a judge. He's supposed to do that, and yeah, they need that to get better. And it wasn't wrong. I mean, I totally agreed with what he said. So
Yeah. So Bruno says, wonderful performance, $1 million body instead of baby. The salsa wasn't quite there, but great performance. So yeah, Robert really needs to work on the salsa, learning the technique.
yeah,
Like
I
that.
mean, I thought like the beginnings and ends were fine. I mean, that was just the big part that stood out to me. But yeah, I mean, hey, at least he's got something to work on. But I mean, I would
That's
say
a good thing that he has something to work on. You can't just
Yeah,
saying
right.
great, 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 and
Right.
then
I mean, I
that's
do
it.
think compared to like last week's, yeah, this one probably was same level or, maybe even a little bit below. So this definitely wasn't like,
Top.
leading forward strong. So this was a little bit of a back for him.
So up in the skybox, he says that Whitney helped extract the riz out of him. He learned that he could be cool in this dance. And this is when Whitney is covering his body as well.
Yeah. So maybe he's discovering a new side that he's got. So
A new side. So Carrie Ann gave him an 8 and then he got 2 7s, which I thought was fair.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, even the 8 I was kind of shocked with, but
I think the 1 8 deserved for just the sheer energy and effort put into the performance. But yeah, salsa.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
salsa. Got to remember, it's
fine.
still salsa we're working on.
Yeah.
Next, we have Alex and Val. They performed a quick step to pop music. And we learned that Alex gained TikTok traction for her Get Ready With Me videos. She's the queen of TikTok. So this was like her night, I think. She was so excited about this night because this is her bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she's famous for. So yeah.
So she said she loved this TikTok dance and the trend to this song. And then we learned that her videos have been viewed over 500 million times. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I was not familiar with this song, but
I wasn't either.
I thought it was fun and the choreo. They got the original artist to come in and show them some of the original moves from the music video,
That's
and
huge.
that was cool how they got to incorporate that. And I thought that choreo was fun, and yeah, the song was very different. And yeah, I thought it fit well, and
They had fun in this.
yeah, I think this went well over. It was funny to even see like the artist critiquing Val on the movements because even he was struggling with some of them. So it was kind of just like, oh wow, even it reminds me even the pros gotta struggle at some things. But
Yeah, that was really interesting. And the artist was like, I am going to be able to tell if he's out of step or if he does one little thing wrong because of the way I know this like the back of my hand now. So,
yeah, right.
yeah, she was not holding back.
No, but yeah, no, this whole performance I thought was very well done, and yeah, they were very in sync with all the movements, and then yeah, when they did everything, it
A
just
good quick step.
polished. Yeah, no, I mean, and the other thing I enjoyed was, because this was very fast for a quick step, and the kicks and all of it was in time, and they were very on time with the music, and that I think was very difficult for how fast it was for every little step to be on time, and it matched the rhythm of the music because there was kind of this steady beat, and then their foot matched it every
Exactly.
step. So
Yeah.
that was very good. Yeah.
This was really impressive. So Derek says that she glides effortlessly. She's a fantastic performer. And then he brought up a little note about keeping her back in the right position. And then Bruno says, spot on performance, quick steps, sparkles. And then he thanked Val for putting in all of the required steps into the dance and says that she is a contender here. And Carrie Ann says her best dance so far, so clean and precise on a very difficult dance.
Yeah. I mean, it was, yeah, spot on.
Scores an 8 by Carrie Ann, a 7 by Derek, and an 8 by Bruno. I thought this could have been all 8s.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
Come on, Derek.
that last 7 could have been an 8, but all in all, I would agree with, what they gave. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it was, definitely one of the best of the night for sure. So.
definitely. Definitely. So very impressive. So at the top of the board, we have Jordan and Ezra and Whitney and Mark. And at the bottom, Lauren and Brandon and Emma and Andy. I was a bit surprised that Lauren and Brandy and Emma and Andy, all these things tied together. I was a bit surprised that Lauren scored the same as Andy this week.
Yeah, I mean that was shocking to see, because especially coming from last week, because she was at the top or very close to the top. So, it's definitely a shame to see her
Drop so
have
much.
that big drop. And then, as we saw, she got eliminated. So, but I guess it does go to show, the people for the competition, like you really can't have an off week. I mean, you pretty much have to stay at your level, well, really improve each week. And, one little setback, and hey, that could be the end of you.
Yeah,
So,
because there's a lot of people voting for each couple, and you never know if you have enough people voting for you. And then some weeks, the voters will get comfortable and think, oh, yeah, there's so many people voting for her. Maybe I don't need to vote. And then that combined with the lowest score of the night can do you in.
yeah, no. I mean, especially, yeah, because if you're at the bottom, right, then it kind of turns into like the popularity contest, right? Do you have enough people to keep you afloat? And of course, Andy's got a huge following, I would imagine. So, that's what's going to keep him in for a while. And I don't know. I mean, Andy, he has been growing consistently, right? Where you did kind of have, for Lauren, a great week last week, but this week wasn't so great. So, a little more of this, kind of whipsaw action. But so, I mean, was it not, not out of the cards? I mean, not necessarily, but, and, someone's got to go home at the end of the day. But
Well, let's talk about, so these weren't necessarily the bottom three, but they were the three couples waiting at the end: Emma and Andy, Lauren and Brandon, and Elaine and Alan. And there was a big moment of anticipation, waiting to hear who's going to be sent home, and then the very shocking elimination of Brandon and Lauren. And we replayed this multiple times just to see everyone's reactions. Emma, like, huge open mouth, so surprised. Andy, so surprised. Alan, Elaine, everybody looks so surprised. Then panning over to Lauren, she just looks so upset as soon as that happened, and Brandon like fell over to the front.
yeah, I mean, it definitely, I kind of was thinking it might be almost maybe even Elaine, because I thought maybe, Lauren, especially with her song and everything, might, have enough of a, popular vote in to save her. But yeah, no, I guess she did not. And it's also, saying too, it's it's kind of interesting because we saw Baron last week and he brought his high school coach and then he got eliminated. And now she
Which
brought
that's
her
so
band
sad.
members and then she got eliminated. So yeah, it is kind of even more frustrating, I'm sure,
It's
when
this
you,
more upset element added to it.
yeah, because you bring in these people who mean a lot to you and then to be eliminated
And they
that
get to
week too
watch
is
you
really, yeah,
get chopped
yeah, that's got to make it tougher.
for sure. So Julianne then goes up to her and says, the audience is all shocked here to see you get eliminated. And how are you feeling? And then she says, pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. The emotions are running, and you are probably taken aback and really kind of sideswiped by this. And
I don't think she was expecting it at all.
right,
I
yeah,
don't think anybody was really expecting this. I think they thought, okay, we had like, a week where we scored low. Let's just get back at it next week. And it really just didn't happen.
well, too, even especially with like Derek's words, where oh,
But
this
I mean,
will be the
you'll have
last time.
time. Yeah. He said you'll have time to work on all of this. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think anybody was expecting this, especially like you said. It was her song. Her bandmates were there. Everyone probably thought the voting was going to be really strong this week. So it's like, oh my gosh, huge shock. And she is just so emotional about being eliminated so soon that was kind of the only thing that she could manage to get out at this point.
Well, and two, I think too, right, being like top leaderboard last week to then bottom of this week too makes it a big shock as well.
And it all happened so quickly. Like, this is all happening in one night. You do your
Yeah.
dance, you get the score. Oh my gosh. And you only have like a little time to process before the actual elimination. And then it's over.
Right. Where you've seen like everybody else so far has been getting eliminated pretty much at the bottom the whole every week as well.
Right. Like, if it was Andy and Emma, maybe wouldn't have been as big of a shock. Right.
Yeah, I mean people would have been, upset, but Right, but it wouldn't because you've seen them just at the bottom every week, so
That would have been more
yeah, expected.
expected than something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watched Joey's podcast after this where he interviewed Lauren and Brandon says that this has been the most disappointing year yet, I guess, with the timing of him being eliminated. They just had so much potential in this competition.
Yeah, I do think it's it's just one bad week for her, and because she's she's shown a lot of, especially after last week, that she could be a powerhouse, and right, it was just the one week, and then really got punished for that, and but it does it just shows that every dancer's really gotta you it, you really can't have a a bad week because that may be your time then. So
Yeah. So very sad.
yeah, so it's real shame, and especially too, I think her votes kind of got gypped 2 weeks in a row. I mean, it was the 1 point, so I don't know if
For
that really would have
score.
made
Yeah.
a big deal, but still to see that and then still gets eliminated, it's a shame. But
Yeah. So I definitely feel, what Brandon's thinking too is it's just, it's a little unfair. And I mean, I always think Brandon can go further than where he goes to, and I hope his year comes up for him.
yeah, definitely.
He works really hard. Well, that was our episode, and next week is Disney Week, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, we will see what Disney inspired things they have.
Yes. So I do know that they are having their heart-to-heart conversations at Disneyland this week, and we'll see that. So, yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see them talking at Disneyland and to see what Disney-inspired songs come out of this and dances.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's right now a lot of comments to Riley and Scott saying this better be the week for Sharpay and Ryan from High School Musical. So, remember at the beginning, they were saying the partnership reminded people of Sharpay and Ryan, the brother-sister duo from... You've never seen High School Musical, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I will have to show you what I'm talking about because this would be the week to do a Sharpay and Ryan song together. And they would just knock it out of the park, I think. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'll see.
After this episode, we'll watch a quick clip.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say maybe Dylan should do a bet on it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that would be iconic.
We can watch him do
Bet
an
on it,
improvised
bet
version
on
of it.
And then they could have like a fake pond,
Right, yeah.
golf course.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Bet on it.
Yeah.
2 High School Musical things can happen next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what anybody else is thinking or up to, so
Well, I guess we'll find out.
we'll find out next week. Thanks so much for joining us on A Fine Podcast.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check us out on our social media.
That's right. And we will see you all for Disney Week next week. So also let us know, what did you think about TikTok Week? What was your favorite dance?
Yeah, who's your favorite? And let us know.
Let us know. We want to know.
Disney, ciao.
Disney. Bye.